The price is wrong, bitch.
And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. There's new bully, me host Leroy, aka Griselda's next album cover, with my co-host. I thought I completely fucked that up. I really fucked that up.
Yeah, this is Eli, aka C3P Cheerios.
Yep, and we are back with another episode. And yeah, we're just gonna get into it. Like I said, we got a bunch of we don't have a bunch of stuff. Eli got a bunch of stuff we gotta talk about. But you know what? Actually happened?
Oh no, I'm gonna leave it up to the AI.
Let the AI just go.
The AI gonna take care of it. Got you guys.
There you go. We're just gonna sit. We're both gonna sit back and just eat a hamburger or some shit like that while they figure it out. So, I guess I can share a link about what, but I'm gonna share a link. I do both. Okay. So, Eli, it was gonna be just all on you until some stuff happened. Hold on, who we got? Jake, what's going on?
Jake's in the house. What up?
I knew Jake was gonna be right on time. He's always right on time. So I thought it was just gonna be just an Eli show this time, just all Eli, just all the time, like Eli. But some stuff happened, some sad stuff happened that we do have to address.
Yeah,
we gotta pay idea, and like it happened like right before we was about to do our thing. So yeah, so we're just gonna get into that, just handle our business, and then we'll get into the fun stuff. Like I said, you've seen the thumbnail, and to be honest with you, Eli, I'm proud of my thumbnail this week.
Are you?
So. Yeah, I think so.
Good job.
Sometimes I'm like, iffy, but this one.
You should be.
Yeah.
You should be.
All right. So, like,
busting your ass.
All right. So, first thing we're going to start off with, hold up before we get into it. Is that Jake? With another one? Let's see what we got. Eli,
finally, hey, I had my own show that no one listened to years ago, man.
He's taking over this show. All right. Yeah. So I want to say rest in peace to Bob Barker. We got to talk about Bob Barker. We got to talk about a due diligence, talk about all the legends that passed. Yeah. So like I said, so Bob Barker was a big deal. Now the thing about Bob Barker, everybody knows who Bob Barker is. He was the game show of The Price is Right for how many years? I don't know when he started. All I know is that whenever I started watching it, he was there. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure anybody that's still alive that was watching the show, he was there watching it. So yeah,
pretty much until Drew Carey or whoever took it over, he was pretty much the only host that I knew of.
Yeah, I know about
Price is Right.
Yeah, Drew Carey. Let's see, they've got a picture of it. Nope, that's Barker's Beauties. Oh, I don't have it. Never mind. Anyway, the point is,
I'll look at the beauties.
Oh, I bet you will. Because I didn't want to talk about that because we got to talk about everybody loves the Barker Beauties on there. Like I said, and yes, Bob Barker was smashing all of them. Because like I said, every time you turn around the 80s, there was another thing coming out about Bob Barker this, Bob Barker this. But we still love Bob Barker because here's one thing I know about Bob Barker. Anybody that grew up, Eli, did you grow up watching Price is Right?
I watched The Price is Right.
Yeah, because I know anybody that has a fondness for Price is Right, they all have one thing in common. They all grew up with the granny. It's only because like Price is Right, In the Heat of the Night, Matlock. It's just certain show. Any soap opera, Days of Our Lives like that. If you're familiar, if you know who Victor Kiriakis is, you grew up with your granny. So yeah, and the same thing with Bob Barker also, dude kicked out of Sandler. And I was just gonna talk about that. To me, that is one of the funniest scenes of all time when I saw that. The Price is Wrong, bitch. Because yes. And when he headbutted Bob Barker, and that whole thing, his thing, I watched it with my dad. My dad didn't know that scene was coming up, but I knew the scene was coming up. He said to watch it. That's the hardest I've ever heard my dad laugh in life ever. So I remember that scene for that. So yeah, yes. That's pretty much all we got to say.
That is why Happy Gilmore is a classic.
It's so many classic scenes in Happy Gilmore. If anybody hadn't seen Happy Gilmore and you're watching this show, we highly recommend Happy Gilmore. It is an Adam Sandler movie, one of his first Adam Sandler movie. It is a classic. So. Yeah, so that's pretty much all we got to say about that. Like I said, Bob Barker was a legend, did a lot of things, game show host. Yeah.
And I just recently found out that he was native. He's
What?
part native. Yeah. Like legitimately.
What tribe? What tribe?
Lakota. He grew up on Rosebud, the res in South Dakota.
What?
Like went to the Rosebud High School and shit. He's like an eighth. So he's actually got some legitimately native. I just learned this. So
okay. Well,
yeah.
Okay. Shout out to native legend Bob Barker. I didn't think I was gonna say that, but yeah.
There you go. we had a celebrity and I didn't know. But yeah, good journey to him.
Yeah, good journey to Bob Barker. So, and we're gonna keep the train moving, we're gonna keep the train going because this one hurt. This one hurt right here. Now, a lot of people shocking. A lot of people that don't listen to podcasts probably have no idea who we're talking about. This Arleen Sorkin. For those who don't know who Arleen Sorkin is, she is also a legend. Because she did a lot of things. Let me give a quick picture of her real quick. She did a lot of things. She was another soap opera actress, like on Days of Our Lives, like that. But the most important thing she's famous for is that she was the voice of Harley Quinn. Now, just to say she was the original voice of Harley Quinn is not doing it justice. She wasn't just the voice of Harley Quinn. She was the inspiration for Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn wouldn't exist without her. Because the thing is, Arleen Sorkin, like I said, she was on a daytime soap opera. She had this personality. She was bubbly, ditzy, smart ass, very hyperactive. Harley Quinn. That's basically what she was. So the showrunner of Batman the Animated Series, got to make the show, was actually good friends with Arleen Sorkin. So he decided to, give Joker a sidekick. She was supposed to, Harley Quinn was supposed to have been just a one-off thing. One episode, get in, get out, and that was it like that. But the thing is, Arleen Sorkin put so much energy in it, and made the character pop that people kept asking for the character to come back. So we went from like a one shot to a bigger thing, and now she's in movies, and now she's in this, and now she's in that.
She's a phenomenon.
She's a phenomenon. You can make an art. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the best-selling DC comic books still.
One of the best DC comics. You can make an argument that Harley Quinn was at one time DC's most popular female character. I mean, that's a big thing out of 80-year, 100-year history, whatever DC has. So yeah. But that's the thing about Arleen Sorkin. Like I said, she put all her energy into Harley Quinn, and all those things that you recognize, like Mr. J and Puddin'. I'm not gonna do the Harley voice, but everybody knows the Harley voice.
Come on, man.
I'm not doing the Harley voice. but the point is that anybody that does a Harley Quinn voice is doing an Arleen Sorkin voice. Like I said, it doesn't matter who you are doing Arleen Sorkin voice. Now we're gonna go a little bit further with that, because when I mean that Arleen Sorkin was the inspiration for Harley Quinn, because Paul Dini saw an episode of Days of Our Lives where Arleen Sorkin dressed up as a court jester, also called a Harlequin. So this image stuck in his brain when he saw it. He was like, okay, she can play a clown. I'm going to hire my friend to play a clown. And that became Harley Quinn. So, yeah. What else we got here? Crazy, more popular. Here's more popular than Joker now. The funny thing is that the more popular Harley Quinn, the more they started to separate her from Joker, because Joker started to get more psychotic and homicidal, stuff like that. And they didn't want that brand associated with Harley.
Yeah, and if you watch the old, and if you watch the old animated series, he treats her like shit, and it was a joke. It was like she was like comic, like sadistic comic relief, dark comic relief.
Right.
You know how he just like beat the shit out of her and treated her like shit. But as they started fleshing her out in the comics, they made her more independent, and now she's like, she's like, fuck the Joker, and got a great relationship with Ivy now, and
the whole Ivy thing that was in the cartoon, like the animated series when it first started. So
I mean, they fleshed her out. As long as the more popular she got, okay, we can't have her being this like victim of abuse all the time.
Right?
So,
can't have her getting abused. Can't have her be an accomplice to all the psychotic shit Joker's doing. So let's just separate them and move them ways like that, and it was for the better. Like I said, Harley Quinn became even more popular. Like even the movies, like Birds of Prey, the whole point of that was her getting away from Joker. The Suicide Squad with James Gunn, getting away from Joker. So they was able to flesh the character out. But it's just funny how those seeds were planted with Arleen Sorkin. Like I said, without Arleen Sorkin, there would be no Harley Quinn. Because the thing is, other villains on that show had sidekicks. Like I think Penguin had like 2 chicks with him. Nobody remembers them, because they didn't have personalities. They were just there and then gone, and that's it. But like I said, Harley Quinn became so popular and it's all because of Arleen Sorkin. I do want to say that she did the voice of the kid. Now she hasn't done the voice in like 20 years or something like, or 10 years, something like that. I think the last time she did the voice was Arkham Asylum. The first one. She did the voice of Arkham Asylum, the first one. After that, then Tara Strong came in, and then she's been basically doing the voice since then. But yeah, that's going on with that. So yeah, like I said, good journey. The fact is that Harley Quinn lives on through her. So yeah, well, she lives on through Harley Quinn. I feel like that. So yeah. So let me say we move on to the next part of the podcast. Like I said, you all came to see a thing. Hopefully everybody's seen it. Hopefully we're not spoiling anything for everybody. This is on Disney Plus, so everybody should have got a chance to see it. Eli saw it, and he's our resident Ashoka expert. So he's gonna. You had to correct me that wasn't how you spelled it.
You know what? I'm gonna start saying it now.
It's Ashoka. So yeah,
Ahsoka.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the thing. So like I said, this is Ahsoka episode 1 and 2. They came on Disney Plus, aired at the same time. I'm gonna let Eli break it down, give his thoughts, see what he thought about it.
I loved it. That's
what?
Because
here's the thing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any other reviews on YouTube, and honestly, I've been scared because it's the same old thing. Also, what's the name of the show again? I can't want to say Ahsoka. Ahsoka is the worst thing since Captain Marvel. I'm like, okay, let me ignore all this shit, man. I'm not gonna pay attention to you. So that's why I needed to hear an expert to see what they think about this show. So,
Ahsoka has been an established fan favorite Star Wars character for over 10 years now. Like over 15, like 2008. When was that first Clone Wars? 2008, 2009?
Yeah, but you're talking about the theatrical movie Clone Wars.
The theatrical, yes. There was a Clone Wars movie at one point that I did see in the theater. And then, of course, 7 seasons of Clone Wars. Then she appeared on Rebels. She made appearances on Mando and Book of Boba Fett, and now she's got her own series. So she has a lot more staying power than just being a female Jedi, a girl Jedi. The way Rey was. Rey got a lot of flack for being a woke, gender swapping hero bullshit outrage that we've grown to adore.
Right, but at the same time, you're saying that Ahsoka has been accepted by the fan base.
Yes,
for the most part.
A lot of kids, like my kid. He was watching when he was like he didn't really watch the original series or even the prequels. He was into the Clone Wars, and he really got into Ahsoka when he was like super little, before he got into Dragon Ball Z.
And that's the thing, we can say that Ahsoka has stood into its time. When you say 2008, okay, let's do the math. What is that? 15 years roughly, or some shit, maybe longer than that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about a character that has stood the test of time for 15 years trying to make a live action. So it's not like. It's like Harley, like we just talked about Harley Quinn, how Harley Quinn took time to develop and be accepted by the fan base. Like that same thing with Ahsoka. Like you don't last 15 years without being accepted by the fan base. It just doesn't happen. Yeah,
there's a whole generation of kids whose first exposure to Star Wars was the Clone Wars.
Right.
And Ahsoka, is like I said, a fan favorite. And she is a very strong character. I dig her. I've actually read her novel, like her standalone novel. So yeah, she's a cool character, and she was Anakin's Padawan, and basically fleshed out Anakin way more than the movies ever did. She was basically Anakin's heart, and understanding her story, you understand more why Anakin went to the dark side. So yeah, she's just this really cool character. So. This show, I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I'm a fan of Rebels. This show is basically a continuation of Rebels, live action Rebels. I have sucked Rebels dick for a long time now.
I mean, let's call it what it is. Rebels is your favorite Star Wars thing ever.
It is. I recently watched it in preparation for the show. So it's fresh in my mind. It is it is great Star Wars storytelling. It gets to the heart of what Star Wars is meant to be, you know. And I said, and in the Clone Wars too. The Clone Wars I felt was great. You know, some of the best Star Wars storytelling as well. But yeah, Rebels is great. Rebels is a great show, and this is a continuation of it. And we're seeing these characters in live action, which I thought was great. As a fan of the show, I thought everybody nailed it. It's cool to see live action Sabine and Hera and Ahsoka. Well, we've seen Ahsoka already in Mando and shit, but Chopper and, you know, various other characters pop up. But no, I had a great time with it. I thought the 2 episodes were like, I didn't know it was a 2-parter at first until the second episode stuck. Because when Sabine got her ass whooped, I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
Spoilers. and then the second episode started. I'm like, oh, okay. Sabine ain't going out like that. So, but yeah, I really dug on it. I mean, that's just because I'm a fan of Rebels, and you know me, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I like some things more than others. Some things I didn't get into. But I don't complain about Star Wars unless other people do. So,
right.
But I really dug on Rebels, and I think they did a great job translating this show into live action and those characters. So I'm in the bag for this, and I think I'm biased because I'm a fan of Rebels. But I would like to know what people who haven't watched Rebels think of this.
Okay.
Like, does the show translate very well? Can you get into it without knowing the backstory and all the Easter eggs and the references and that, you know? I
mean, I'm pretty sure I didn't catch any of the Easter eggs, and honestly, I don't think it mattered. I mean, just like when I was watching Mandalorian and in season 6, when all those people started showing up, you're like, oh, this person is from that, and that person's from that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't know who they are, but at the same time, in this show, I'm like, okay, this person knows that person because that person did a thing. Okay, it's an action sci-fi show, and every action sci-fi show follows the same beat. Good guy, bad guy, racing to get the MacGuffin to stop them from doing the thing. Okay, yeah. I'm okay with that. That's every sci-fi show ever. This is no different. So as long as I don't know where this character is and how this character relates to the person, like I don't think I need to know that. I just know that this person is the good guy, that person is a bad guy. They're going at it. These persons have a complicated relationship because of something happened in the past. I know this strong guy is supposed to be the best motherfucker in all of the universe. Okay. I'm good. I'm pretty sure he kicked puppies and, you know, whatever the fuck he did. So.
Actually, no, he wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Thrawn is more methodical. He's not like a power hungry like Palpatine or Vader was. Yeah. Palpatine's more like calm and collected. He's like Hunt for Red October. What's his name? The Sean Connery and Hunt for Red October. It's like that guy. But he's like that. He's like a strategist, like a battle strategist, a tactician of warfare. He thinks and like it's like he's playing chess. So he's not all about like just destruction. He plays everybody and thinks, you know, 10 steps ahead. He's very clever. So he's like a more methodical than just straight up power hungry and, you know, like Palpatine was. You know, that's what makes him a more of a cooler character. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil Rebels for those who haven't seen it, but it at the finale of Rebels, Ezra, the main character, Ezra and Palpatine, they were battling, and then they were whisked off, you know, into hyperspace to parts unknown. And they don't know where. They were presumed dead after a while because they didn't know where they went. And it's on the show, spoilers, they're trying to track down Thrawn. And they reference Thrawn in, like, was it Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Where
Ahsoka, it's just a name drop, just like, I'm going
Ahsoka,
to get Thrawn.
Yeah. Ahsoka.
And then they had like the ominous music playing. Dun, dun, dun,
yeah.
You know,
like, I'm looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn. And like it was like a cliffhanger or whatever. And that woman from the Mando that were the Ahsoka episode of Mando where she has that duel in that town, you know, that woman is now in this show. Honestly,
it took me on the second viewing to realize that was the same woman.
Yeah.
Because the first I was like, why are we chasing after this chick again?
Because I've watched those certain Mando episodes a lot. I did recognize her right away. Like, oh, that's that one chick from the one episode. And
actually, I didn't even recognize. Somebody from the internet said it. I think I saw it on Twitter, some shit like that.
Yeah,
like, oh,
I didn't know her name. Chick. Like, I didn't remember her name, but I did recognize her face. Like, because I've watched that duel a bunch.
I didn't even recognize that. I was just
yeah. And I forget her name now, Morgana or something like that.
Morgan Le Fay, some shit. I don't.
Yeah. the Goblin Queen, yeah.
Right.
But she established the Night Sisters. I mean, she mentioned the Night Sisters. The Night Sisters are from the Clone Wars. That's the Night Sisters were like these witches who like did magic through the Force, through the dark side of the Force. And there's the Night Brothers. Darth Maul. Darth Maul was a Night Brother. Him and a Savage Opress. They have a story arc. Actually, the Night Sisters trilogy. If anybody wants to like watch some cool Clone Wars and you don't want to sit through 7 seasons, there are key episodes. But watch the Night Sister trilogy, and it's got how Darth Maul came back, and Asajj Ventress was also part of from Dathomir, that planet they're from. And this shows who the Night Sisters are. They're basically these goth witches who practice Force magic. And but I guess this woman, Morgan Le Fay, or whatever her name was, she's from Dathomir and knows Night Sister magic too. I guess.
Why is she like some kind of demon looking chick like everybody else they showed?
That's a good question. Why does she got horn? Well, the women. Well, you've seen Asajj Ventress. She's just kind of like pale skin, kind of alien looking, like an evil alien woman looking.
I mean, from what I remember, I thought she was demon looking too, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of what I remember from her.
Yeah. We've never seen Asajj Ventress in human form, or the Night Sisters in human form, but who knows? Maybe I don't know. I don't know. That is a good question. Why doesn't she look more evil looking or whatever?
Right. Or maybe she transform. Maybe it's like what's the chick? Agatha Harkness, where she really is older, but she does magic shit to make herself look younger or something.
That would be cool too. Your theory. Or should I be outraged about this? What the fuck? This is bullshit.
This is the lore or some shit.
The Night Sisters don't look human. What the fuck? This show sucks. Fuck this shit. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I was in the bag. I was into it. I got a lot of the references. I guess there's references that I didn't quite catch that I've seen pop up about Knights of the Old Republic. I've never really played Knights of the Old Republic. It was just too long for me that I never.
I got it for free from Amazon Prime Gaming. I just haven't played it.
I never made it off that first ship. So.
I made it pretty deep in the game. I don't know how far I made it, but I made it pretty deep in there.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know that lore very well, other than just watching. I mean, I've watched a bunch of the cutscenes on YouTube and shit, but I don't know who the fuck was who. So, so I'm not that deep. I like Star Wars, but I'm not really that like no. Once you get past, Star Wars or Skywalker shit, it's a little vague for me.
So when they start referencing the Nintendo 64 Shadows of the Empire video game, you're like.
Well, I do know that. Yeah, that's. I know who Prince Zizor is and all that shit. But no, I dug it. I mean, did you like it? Like, because you never watched the show, but you said you followed along. But did you enjoy the show?
I mean, I liked it, but I'm kind of liking it on a level of I need something to watch. There's nothing on TV. This is some Star Wars stuff on Disney. For what it is, I like it. Like I said, I know it's a whole bunch of Easter eggs flew over my head. I'm cool with that. I'm learning these characters for the first time. Cool with that. Like I said, I'm mainly watching because Rosario Dawson.
So you didn't bust the nut when Chopper showed up on screen and.
No, but they kept saying his name over and over and over and over again. Chopper. Like he must be a thing. That's all I know. So. He's
like the astromech droid Chopper. Well, he's C1-1 OP. So C1-1 that looks like an H 0P. Right. So it's Chop for short. It looks like Chop, but then they call him Chopper.
They call him Chopper. Okay.
And actually, this isn't his first live action appearance. He was in Rogue One for a second.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he rolled by when.
So was he in Rogue One first, or
no?
Rebels?
He was on Rebels first, but
Rebels first.
You know,
okay.
But yeah, Rogue One threw in a Rebels Easter egg, and was showing Chopper.
Okay, never caught that.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I like I said, I was a big fan. I'm not gonna break down Rebels and all the characters because I did that before when the Ahsoka trailer dropped earlier this year. I like broke down all the characters and told everybody who Ezra was and who Hera was and Sabine. I thought
an
Sabine was
hour-long
great.
review on a 2-minute trailer. Yeah,
yeah. I've already done that. Sabine was cool. I was hoping she was gonna throw on her helmet, but she didn't. I would have probably had a nerdgasm because she's a Mandalorian.
She seems to be the most interesting character so far, but I feel like the show was trying to make her the most interesting character.
And well, they have. She's a Mandalorian. She was the one who brought back the Darksaber. You know?
Okay.
So she's badass. She's actually a badass character. Kicks a lot of ass. Well, she's Mando. She's Mando. Her family is like is part of some royal Mandalorian clan and shit. So she's had a lot of family drama. She was actually in the Imperial Army for a while and was developing weapons of mass destruction for the Empire before she defected. Again, this is all in Rebels. And it was established that she may be force sensitive. She did train how to use a lightsaber with Kanan. Yeah, Kanan was on the show. I won't say any spoilers because Rebels is awesome. And I think I highly recommend people watch Rebels. It is some of the coolest Star Wars shit ever.
Who is Kanan?
Kanan was a Jedi who escaped Order 66 as a kid.
Oh, okay.
So he never finished his training, but he always kind of sort of used the Force to get by, and then joined the Ghost Crew. Which is the Rebels on the show, and they were like a bunch of they were like Firefly, you know, they were like a bunch of outlaws doing crimes throughout the galaxy, and then they start reluctantly sucked into the Civil War, joining the Rebel Alliance. They first start out just kind of robbing shit and selling shit, and that's where they meet Ezra. Ezra is a force-sensitive kid who meets up with the shit. That's pretty much Rebels. Pretty much follows Ezra. He's like the main character. He starts out as like this orphan on planet Lothal and joins up with this crew of outlaws, and then eventually joins the Rebel Alliance. That's kind of what Rebels is, the show. And Kanan begins training Ezra because Ezra's a force-sensitive kid. And then it was suggested that Sabine may be force-sensitive. And obviously they're picking up on it now because in the show, the Ahsoka show, Ahsoka is going to finish her training. You know, but she knows how to use she knows how to lightsaber fight. Like she was using the Darksaber.
Does she? Because she got her ass kicked.
Yeah, well, she probably never finished her training, but she did know how to use the Darksaber. Which is when Mando happened and Mando couldn't lift the Darksaber. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, like Sabine was like 19 years old and kicking ass with the lights with the dark. Like, why can't this dude lift the light? I don't know. I'm not going to start bitching about that. But I think this show is this is Filoni's bread and butter. This is where he shines. This is his baby. All these characters are his creation. Dave Filoni, he's the one who created Clone Wars. He's the one who created Rebels. He was the one who created Ahsoka. And he really understands like the Jedi lore and the nature of the Force and the main themes of what Star Wars is about, and understands that Skywalker legacy. So he really understands that, and that's why those shows are so great. So I think this is probably going to be one of the better shows out of all these live action Star Wars series, because this is his shit. You know what I mean? This is his baby. You know, he's finally getting to do this in live action. So I've always kind of had high hopes for the Ahsoka show because it's Filoni doing what he does best. You know, this is where he shines. Whereas like Mando and Book of Boba Fett, you know, he doesn't do the crime underworld noir shit as good.
Right.
They should have got like Garth Ennis or Ed
Garth
like
Ennis
Brubaker or Ed Brubaker to write them shits. You know what I'm saying? Or like Michael Mann or somebody like somebody who does crime movies.
Yeah, Miami
like,
Vice in space.
yeah, like you know, like to do Mando and Boba Fett shit. You know, you know, but yeah, I have high hopes for the show. I thought the first 2 episodes were awesome. I watched them. I rewatched it twice now. It is like a 90-minute movie. These 2 episodes. I mean,
yeah,
like
could have put it in the theaters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many episodes is it? Did they say?
Is it 8?
Is it 8? Wow. Okay.
8. Is it 8 or 10? I don't know. I think it's only 8. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna like. This is what he's working towards too, because they've announced that Filoni's gonna make a live action Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Involving all these characters, involving Ahsoka and Mando and all that shit.
And, yeah,
that's what he's building towards. That's what all these shows are building towards, you know. So I doubt this show is gonna like take a detour and we're gonna have I doubt we're gonna see like a Boba Fett episode and Ahsoka. You know what I'm saying?
Right, just be random as hell. Just
yeah, like all of a sudden we're gonna like, okay, this week it's all gonna be about, you know, Boba Fett doing whatever. No, I think this is gonna follow.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, we keep complaining about what he's been doing, but everything he's been doing, it seems like he's been building up to this. So
yeah, this is gonna be this is probably gonna be the better of all the series. Because I to tell you the truth, you know, some of the series are okay. I thought Obi-Wan was fine. I just think they're fine. You know, Obi-Wan was fine. Boba Fett, I was a little disappointed in. Mando's been fine for what it is. I was a little disappointed in the last season, but I mean, they're fine. You know, but watching this, Andor I enjoyed, but on a different level, on an intellectual.
Star Wars for adults.
Yeah, it made me feel smart. Andor made me feel smart as a Star Wars nerd. But I love this. Like, I was pretty much blown away. I haven't felt this way since Luke kicked ass on the season finale of Mando season 2.
Right.
You know, like I was like pretty much giddy watching these 2 episodes. I had a blast. You know, and I haven't felt that way about a lot of these shows. You know, so. Or like when Boba Fett did the sonic charges in that one episode of Mando when they're flying away, and like that shit was dope, you know. So there's moments where I have I feel like a kid again, but I was pretty much that whole feeling was during these 2 episodes. So yeah, I dug it. I dug it, but I'm biased, and so yeah, it doesn't.
Because
really
you're
matter
watching, you're seeing all the things, the Easter eggs, you know. And they're gearing that towards you. They want, you know, fans like you to find this stuff. So
yeah, I think if you're a fan of Rebels, yeah, you're gonna dig it. You're gonna get the Easter eggs. You're gonna get you have an emotional attachment to these characters. You know what they've been through, and they've been through a lot. So seeing, they're watching Sabine look at that mural, and some characters are no longer, around. You know what I mean? There was some feel. I was getting some feels. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm a fan of that show, and so yeah, I'm biased. So yeah, I dug on it. It sounds like you dug on it just fine as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a show. I mean, like I said, I'm not emotionally invested in anything like that. It's a show. I'm watching it. Like I said, as long as you got Rosario Dawson in it, I'm good. There's lightsaber fights, Star Wars music, I'm good. So I'm not like locked in, like, oh, I got to say it. No, I mean, maybe I will be by the end of the show. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving it, I'm hopeful that maybe the show will suck me in. Like, okay, I need to be here. But like I said, you said Dave Filoni is the heir apparent, or whatever you want to call him, the chosen one, So I'm like, okay, grip me with this right now. Don't have me at the end of the show after it's all said. Like, it's fine, it's great. I don't want this to be just fine,
Yeah.
But if it is, it is. So
yeah. And that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, because like the track record for these shows, these live action Star Wars shows for me have been, they're okay. They're cool. I watch them and they're okay. But this one I really dug. Like, like I said, I haven't felt giddy about this since Luke whooped ass on that one episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm stoked. I mean, we don't have to do. Do we want to review every week or what? I don't.
It's up to you.
I don't know.
Like I say, if something happens that needs to be reviewed, then I'll jump in. I'm like I said, I'm gonna watch every episode. I'm gonna watch them all because, like I said, I have nothing else to watch. So Tuesday night, sure, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
30 minutes, 50 minutes.
Maybe, because I know you wanted me to go on and on and on, but I
no, you did. You met the time limit. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay,
yeah.
All right, Ahsoka, thumbs up, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Go watch Rebels, motherfuckers.
All right. So, like I said, I feel like that's enough time. I'm gonna briefly talk about video game shit, then we're gonna move on from there. I think you gave me just enough time so I can do that. So okay. I appreciate you. All right. So, the thing we're gonna talk about now is Nicki Minaj. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Nicki Minaj for a second. We're going to talk about Nicki Minaj because she has just been announced that she is a new playable character in Call of Duty. So that's cool. Of course, the fans are reacting exactly how you expect to react. Keep in mind, this is not the first time they've done stuff like this, celebrity stuff like that. I think Snoop Dogg was in there last year. So, yeah. But the thing is, fans should just be happy. And plus, Call of Duty isn't like the most realistic thing anyway. They have zombies in their shit. I mean, but what happened is
you can hold on to a bazooka, a sniper rifle, 1,000 guns in one.
Right, but this is unrealistic, right? Yeah. But they got to understand what they're doing. All Call of Duty is doing is trying to getting ahead of Fortnite. This is a Fortnite shit right here. That's all it is. So right now Call of Duty is putting in realistic celebrities in there. Yeah, we got Nicki Minaj and Snoop Dogg and whoever the fuck in there. It's only a matter of time before you get the Ninja Turtles or SpongeBob or some shit in there. They were playing Call of Duty.
Well, because the Godzilla Kong last year or whatever, and
was that Call of Duty? That was Call of Duty. Yeah,
where you saw them in the background. I don't know why, but I guess they were fighting in the background. I never played it, but
yeah, that was Call of Duty. Yeah, I've seen that. Was that Battlefield? I can't remember. I can't remember what game it was. But
one of them shooting games.
One of them shooting games that was called Godzilla. You can fight Godzilla. You can't beat him. You can't get him. You get too close to him, he would kill you. So I don't know the point of that.
Yeah, I think they were just fighting in the background.
They were just fighting in the background, and Godzilla was stomping. But you could get close enough to him.
Yeah, you could get fucked up by shit that they're breaking or something. I never played it, but
yeah, I never played it. I can't even. I don't even know if it was called. It might have been something else other than Call of Duty, but whatever it was, I remember that. So yeah. All right, now next thing I want to talk about more video game news. We're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the PlayStation Portal. Eli, have you heard about this new thing that they have coming out?
I've heard rumbling.
Okay, I'm gonna just break down what the PlayStation Portal is. The PlayStation Portal is this ugly piece of shit right here. Now, I do want everybody to know.
That looks better than the Switch. Come on.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
I'm not going to get it, but come on.
I'm just saying it's not going to. I know you're not going to get it, but at the same time, it's got people thinking that they get this. They're getting a Switch, or they're getting a PSP, or they're getting a Vita. This is not that. It is nothing like that. All it is a screen you're using to remote play from your PS5. That's all it is. It doesn't do anything else. It doesn't store games. You can't play games from it. You can't even play cloud games from it. It just stores from a PS5. That is it. There is no purpose of getting this thing. And it's $200. Yeah.
Do you have to be close to your PS5 to use it?
Now, that I don't know. I would hope not, because that would be dumb as hell.
So hopefully I gotta take a shit. I'm gonna play it. Yeah, is that what it's gonna
let me
be
move
for?
the PlayStation into the bathroom so I can
yeah.
So hopefully they'll have it fixed where you don't have to be there. Hopefully it'll be over like networking where you can be in Japan or some shit. And you can have your PlayStation on and wherever
but
it is,
you
can still play
cloud games.
No, that's the dumb shit about it. That's what I'm saying. Right. That's dumb as hell. Now, here's the thing. This isn't even an original thing. This is just Sony trying to capitalize on other shit, because the thing is, what if I told everybody that some shit like this already exists? It's the backbone. Now, it's not made by Sony, not made by Xbox. It's made by like a third-party company. And what it is, you can put a controller on your phone, your cell phone. They make one for Android. They make one for iPhone. You just put it on your phone and just play it like that. I wish I had another version where I can show you. Let me see. So that's all that is. So Sony is just trying to get in on it by having their own ugly-looking piece of shit thing right now. They're thinking that they can do it. But the thing is, you get the backbone, which does a lot more than just that, because the backbone can play on any system. So you can download. See, the PlayStation Portal only does PlayStation, but you can get the Steam Link. You can get the backbone, and you can download the Steam Link app, Xbox Live app, PlayStation app, probably some more apps on GOG, Nvidia. You can do all this stuff right there with like a regular tablet.
So I'm trying to think, like, if you could access your console, right?
Right.
And you have a bunch, but your console has access to the cloud.
Right.
Why wouldn't you be able to play your games on?
No, well, you just remote playing. You just remote playing. So you just remote playing from your PlayStation. But if they had like cloud gaming, you can't do that with this thing they just made. But if you had like a tablet, an iPad, or an Android, you download like Xbox Game Pass, and you have the description, you can do that. You can download and play it like that.
So this don't make no sense.
It's a piece of shit system. For instance, like I said, I game on my iPad and I stream from my computer. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just show you an example right now. This is what we were doing earlier. So this is what I do. Like I said, I download the game. Let me see if I can rewind that.
That's your iPad? Or that's
my iPad. That's my iPad. I should have cleaned the screen, but that's me with a dual shot controller. That's me doing all those things right there.
Not the Gordon Gartrell one.
No. This is dual. This is premium shit right here.
Okay.
So yeah, but like I said, I'm on Steam. I got all my Steam games on there. I'm streaming from my iPad to my computer, and I'm playing Spider-Man right now. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of games. Let me see if I can just speed this shit up. Let me see. Go skip. Okay. Like I said, it's loading up now. This is what the PlayStation wants to sell you on some shit that I can already do with my iPad. And I can play this over networks. Like I said, I've done it plenty of times where I've been at home in Jackson and I've gone to Vicksburg and I've been able to play just like that with no problem. Okay. So yeah. And like I said, I can do this with all of my Steam games. I can download the Xbox Live app. I'm playing with one hand. That's why I can't really like do some cool shit, but you get the point, you know. Because I was filming the other one with my cell phone. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's the whole point we're doing right there. So don't buy that. Don't fall for the okie doke. I know it's gonna be the biggest thing they're gonna sell during Christmas because they're trying to get in on what everybody's doing, but don't buy this thing. That's all I'm saying. So nobody's gonna listen to me. Everybody's gonna do what they want to do, but I'm just letting you know ahead of time. So that being said, you can move on to the next part of the podcast.
Is our PlayStation 5s like available yet?
Oh, they are. You can go to any store right now. You can get them now. So they're finally available after 3 years.
You can finally find them and shit.
Yeah, you can just walk in the store. You just grab them. They're good to go. So yeah, it took us 3 years to get there, but we're here. So,
and they're still $500.
And it's still $500. So when they get cheaper, then I decided to get one. But I'm not buying one of those shits for $500. And they came out 3 years ago. No, I'm not doing that. So, yeah. All right. Let me say we will start our podcast. Like I said, it's Comic Book Bullies. We'll talk about comic books. We get up into it. And Eli, what is the first book you got?
Oh.
Luckily, this week we didn't read the same thing.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I did read some stuff.
Yeah.
But where the fuck is it? Wait, stop sharing.
Mm-hmm.
What didn't I do?
You stopped sharing because you were sharing.
Oh, it didn't show.
You stopped sharing.
Oh, was it up? I didn't see it up.
Yeah, it was there.
I didn't see it. Oh, okay. There we go.
There you go.
There we go. I did read some shit, but I thought I might have. You would have read them too. So that's why.
Well, we'll see because you might have read the same shit I read.
Yeah. But for now, I'll do Daredevil and Echo, issue 4. This is the finale. This is where Daredevil and Echo are fighting demi-goblin who's been kidnapping kids with powers and opening a portal to evil places. And as it turns out, an old ancestor of Matt Murdock back in the 1800s teamed up with an old ancestor of Echo.
How convenient.
Yeah. And even though Echo's, what is Echo? Cheyenne or something?
Mm-hmm.
She's like not, which are from like Wyoming and shit.
Right.
Why is she in Mohawk territory? And
did Taboo
whatever.
not know that?
It's comics. Who gives a shit, right? She's got feathers, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, he wrote this shit on the way over to Marvel. So yeah.
Yeah, backstage at a show.
Right.
So yeah, and this is back. Matt Murdock's ancestor, great-great-grandfather, whatever, was part of the Dead Rabbits street gang and like in gangs in New York and shit. And they were dealing with like the same thing. So that we go back and forth between gangs in New York shit in 1800s to modern day Echo and Daredevil trying to find these missing superpower kids. They finally find them. Demi-Goblin is trying to do this ritual. The ritual calls for Daredevil, someone to sacrifice themselves to close the portal, and Daredevil, decides to sacrifice himself. This issue picks up where he's in the afterworld, or the afterlife, whatever. Afterworld. Is that from Let's Go Crazy, Prince?
No, yeah. Afterlife.
Afterlife? Is it afterlife?
Yeah.
What does he say? Whatever. Anyways, the afterlife. Matt Murdock meets his ancestor in the afterlife, and they end up fighting this like Cthulhu demon monster. Meanwhile, back in the land of the living or whatever, Echo and Ghost Rider are fighting Demi-Goblin and shit. At some point, in the afterlife, Daredevil kills the demon and takes the egg. There's like this magic egg inside the monster, and he crushes it, and that basically gives him back his life or whatever, and he comes back to life, and they kick Demi-Goblin's ass and close the portal, and everybody lives happily ever after. So that's basically what happens. It's the big finale, the big climactic battle where everybody beats, the good guys beat the bad guys and all that shit. So yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. It got I really dug on the flashbacks. I like that gangs in New York flashback shit. That was a lot of fun. The modern day stuff was a little campy and kind of corny at times, but I think this is an Elseworld thing. I mean, obviously, it's not they kind of referenced the shit that Daredevil went through with Elektra and all that shit in the main Daredevil.
I mean, this might have been before that happened, because we don't know the timetable on a lot of this stuff. When they make stuff.
And the whole Chip Zdarsky thing, they kind of make references to that, but I think this is just a standalone story. That was fine. It was fine. It was nothing, great. It didn't blow me away. As far as Echo, her portrayal, a native character in comics, she's getting better. She's not just, at first she was just basically another chick that Matt could bang, just another Elektra, basically.
I mean, she's been an Avenger at this point,
Yeah, and she had the Phoenix Force at one point, and Ronin and all that. But yeah, I mean, it was fine. Oh, so they clarify in this issue. Remember a couple issues ago, I made a comment because Echo's deaf. She reads lips, and I was like, how the fuck does she know what Ghost Rider's saying, because he's got no
right.
So they clarify it in this issue. He basically spells out the words in Hellfire in Flame. So,
what? Okay.
Yeah, he basically puts up Hellfire subtitles for her to read.
Okay. I like our explanation last week better. I don't
like
know.
You can read
Maybe
your thoughts or whatever.
yeah, like it's just in her head or some shit. That would have made more
No,
sense. I think they were overthinking it. Taboo was overthinking it when he made that shit.
he even said, "I know you can't read my lips, Echo, so I have to spell it out for you or whatever." And he just put some flaming fire letters appear in the
It
air
could
for
just
her to
it's
read.
in his head or whatever, or I don't know. It's I guess I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was funny. But anyways, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. As a whole series, it's fine. Like I said, I was more into the flashback stuff. That stuff was really interesting. The modern day, Echo and Daredevil shit was just kind of campy, a little campy, and I like my Daredevil shit a little more with edge, I guess.
Right. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah.
Now I gotta share my stuff. Okay. So first book we're going to do is let's go ahead and get Night Terrors out the way. Night Terrors 4.
Oh damn, Night Terrors! It's still
we're
going on.
We're running through it. I've realized they've been dropping them every week. So yeah, let me see. Is that one? That is not one. Oh, let me see if I can get this thing shared up, queued up, as they say. Yeah. So people haven't kept up with the book. Basically, dead man running around in Batman's body. He's resurrected Sandman from the dead. They're fighting this villain that can't sleep called Insomniac, and he's put the entire world to sleep because he's looking for something called the Nightmare Stone, which they found last issue, and they're going to use this Nightmare Stone to end insomnia once and for all. That's kind of what's going on right now. Did I pick the right one? I don't think I picked the right one. Is that it? Let's go with that. Let's pretend like that's it. Okay, so here we go. Night Terror number 4. So the book starts off with dead man doing his oh hi, I didn't notice you there. He does it at every beginning of every book. Does like a little soliloquy, stuff like that. But he wants to say that I'm reading a dead man book, but why don't you check out my horror story? Because he wants you to know that this is not a superhero story, it's a horror story. Because he said in a horror story there are no winners, only survivors. And that's when we get to the outline. And this is Arkham Tower, and it's been taken over by demons and stuff like that. And they find out that Insomnia's real body, his human body, is still in the Arkham Tower. And they're going there to stop all this shit. So they're going to walk in the Arkham Tower with the Nightmare Stone, but they're basically telling him that, okay, you walk in there, you're walking into his lair. He's going to be the strongest. So they walk in Arkham Tower, and all of a sudden there's no demons, no pus or anything like that. It's just clear. No mucus, just clear. So they already realized that, okay, he's in our mind, but let's keep walking up there. They go up the stairs. They keep walking. Damon's getting tired. And that's when dead man turns around and says, son, I'm proud of you. He like, what? You're like, oh yeah, this is me. I'm Batman. Dead man already jumped out of my body and went ahead to go fight Insomnia by himself. He didn't want us to get involved. So let's just get out of here. Let's go be father and son. Let's go fishing. I'll go buy you a beer, And Damon just like, bam, stabs him in the head. You're not my dad. And then he's like, but I could be. And then that's when Sandman's like, Damien, wake up. You're like, uh-oh. You're like, Damon just went to sleep. He nodded off for a second. And as soon as he nodded off, he almost got trapped in the nightmare world. So you got to stay awake. You got to keep fighting. So, and that's when they keep walking past. And right when they get there, they find Insomnia's room. But right before dead Batman walks into the room, his ex-girlfriend shows up, Dove from Hawk and Dove. I didn't know they were a thing. I guess they were a thing. She's like, why don't you come to the land of the dead with me, dead man? All Insomnia wants to do is kill everybody on the planet, and you're already dead. So if everybody's dead, won't you be with us? We'll all be together. He like, maybe I want that, maybe I don't, but I'm gonna walk past her. So he walks in, and they find Insomnia's body, and it's like I said, it's got all the mucus and all this stuff like that. And they're just like, okay, let's pull the Nightmare Stone and let's get to work. So that's when dead man pulls out the Nightmare Stone, and he hops out of Batman's body, but he's still holding the Nightmare Stone in his hand, even though he's a ghost. But it's magic. Who cares? Nightmare magic. He jumps in Insomnia's body, and he's like, we're going to have this final showdown. So he goes in there, and he realizes this one memory that Insomnia has been holding back from. This is Insomnia's origin right here. So we're in Gotham City years ago, And it turns out he's like a big Justice League fan. He like, hey, honey, I'm home. And his family is, but yeah, so he's got a family or had a family. And they're also Justice League family members also. And he's basically saying, the reason I came home early because my job let us off early because they want us to evacuate the city because the Justice League is in some big ass fight with these bad guys. But we're not going to go anywhere because the Justice League always saves everybody, so it's no reason for us to leave. And that exact moment, their building gets destroyed. Everybody dies in the building because the Justice League was having this big ass fight, and the bad guys blew them up. He survived, but of course, everybody in his family is dead. So, like, oh shit. So from then on, he became a serial killer to just start killing people and shit like that. But he can't go to sleep because anytime he goes to sleep, he has nightmares of this scene. So that's why they call him insomnia. And that's why they locked him up in Arkham Asylum. And so he can't go back to sleep. But that's what he's saying. This is the one dream that I didn't want you to know about me, dead man. The one nightmare. And Dead Man's like, okay, well, that's cool, insomnia, but now I'm here. And what happened is that the Justice League were fighting the Dark Knights, the metal Dark Knights, the evil Batman and shit. So he's like, okay, so the Justice League, all they're doing is just fighting themselves at this point. They're creating their own mess. And meanwhile, we're getting caught in the crossfire. Like my family getting caught in the crossfire because of the stupid shit Justice League is doing. And that's what Dead Man said, like, yeah, that's cool, but I still got to put you down. He's like, no, you're not going to put me down. Everything you've been doing up to this point, Dead Man, is because I wanted you to do it. I wanted you to go down there and get the Nightmare Stone. I left the clues out you if you get the Nightmare Stone. So you can be right here at this point right here to give me the Nightmare Stone. I've been playing chess with you the whole time. And that's when we realized, no, but you can't have the Nightmare Stone. You're like, oh, yes, I can, because you know the rules. If you die in a dream, you die in real life. And that's when he slits his own throat. Insomnia's dead. He just killed himself. So when he died, and the Nightmare Stone is in his body right now, all this shit just spews out of him. This nightmare shit just spews out of him. And Damien just goes, what the fuck is happening? You know, and that's when we cut the Dead Man in the soliloquy, like, great question, Robin. That's why you're the son of the world's greatest detective. You know? And then he goes back to it and realizes that everything he's been doing, he's basically been Nightmare's pawn. And now everybody's woke now. Everybody's woken back up. But the nightmares are still going because since Insomnia has the Nightmare Stone, the nightmares are real. And he just used it to just tear apart the world right now. And that's when he sees Damien. He's like, Damien, what the hell going on? He's like, we screwed up. We actually gave the dude exactly what he was looking for. Gave the Nightmare Stone. And now he can make his nightmares reality. And he's going to use that to torment everybody. So he's got like nightmare demons eating people and shit. He's got Dead Man and Sandman strapped to the Hall of Justice. So yeah. And meanwhile, they look out there and he's like, I want to show the world who the Justice League really are. And now he's made his Nightmare Justice League with Demon Superman and Demon Woman and a Batman with a gun for a head. Why? I don't know.
Oh yeah. That was that one art that I saw. That
pic is going viral. That pic is going viral. People don't know what it means, but that's what it means. So yeah. So it's a Nightmare Justice League. So yeah, that's
okay.
This one didn't get me too much, but at the same time, I think this was filler because the next book is the last book. We're finally done with the whatever this is.
Okay.
Yeah. So
did you watch the new Harley episode?
I did. Well, I'm trying to remember what happened. What happened?
They went into the future.
They went in time. They went in the future.
And was that Damien? They just said Robin.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. That was Damien. What they did to Damien was fucked up. They had like some 50-year-old gamer or some shit.
He's all fat and shit,
right? Balding and shit. Like damn, yeah.
And he tried to stand up. He's pins and needles.
I like they did. Right? They did Damien so wrong on that.
I thought it was great. Yeah.
All right. So what you got next?
I guess I'll do Earthdivers number 9.
Earthdivers number 9. Cool. All right. So
this is written by Stephen Graham Jones, indigenous horror author, and this is his comic book on IDW about time traveling Native Americans. So in the future, the Earth is dead. Everybody, all the humans like took off into space to go terraform other planets to fuck up. The natives stayed. And they find a portal, a time portal inside a cave, and they basically go back in time to try to change history. The first arc was about them killing Columbus, try to kill Columbus to stop colonization. That didn't work. This new story arc is about the Ice Age. A woman goes back, her kids go through the portal. She goes to try and find them. She ends up in the Ice Age, 10,000 years ago, and finds a native tribe here, and they're at war with the Solutreans, which were European, like prehistoric people who came across the frozen Atlantic and started shit on the Western Hemisphere continent we now know as America, which basically, debunks the myth that Native Americans came over from Asia across the Bering Strait. So she's been like helping the natives fight these invaders, fighting saber-tooth tigers and woolly mammoths and shit. Last issue, she gets a cold, and she spits in the Solutrean stew because they know that they probably don't have any immunity to her modern day illnesses. Well, they do end up getting sick in this issue. Some of them die, but also the native tribe, the people that are around her from being in contact her, they get sick too. They also try to kidnap her and basically sail her back across the Atlantic, like what they do, like, human trafficking,
Right.
what they did to natives. They took native slaves and brought them over to Europe and brought them over across the other way when they first got here. So that's what they're doing. She's on the boat, but then they get attacked by a giant ass shark, like a megalodon or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, you guys don't know how to swim yet." And she ends up drowning the one guy. So the shark gets him, and she swims to safety and shit. But she figures out that the bread that they like, the tribe was making like a bread, and it starts to get moldy. And she figures out that mold is what like aspirin's made out of, Tylenol and shit. Aspirin comes from mold. So she takes the bread mold and gives it to the natives to help them get over their sickness and shit. And then it's kind of weird where they talk about how they're going to start talk. I don't know if she imagines it or actually happens, but they start talking about how this tribe is going to like tell stories about her, write songs about her, how this woman came from the snow and saved them and helped them beat these invaders and brought them medicine for sicknesses and blah 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 like that. So yeah, that's kind of where it ends. It says to be continued, but again, I think this writer, he's a novelist. He writes novels. Making that transition to comics, it's a little jarring at times. I think he tries to cram a lot into a single issue.
Right. Instead of just letting this, instead of letting the panels tell the story. Yeah,
I think he's trying to cram a lot. It gets a little convoluted at times. Like there's a lot happens in this issue, from them getting sick to them the shark attack on the water to them coming back and then making the mold medicine, and then this whole ending where she's imagining them telling stories or whatever. Yeah, a lot happens, and it gets a little jarring a bit. So that's about the only critique I have, but I still dig the concept that, that indigenous people were on this continent 10,000 years before the so-called Bering Strait theory is just a bold statement. So
learn it from a comic book. So
yeah, 3.5 out of 5.
Nice. Okay. All right. So next book I'm going to do is, did I already get? I think I got. Oh, here we go. Black Panther number 3. Black Panther number 3. Oh. Yep. Nobody's buying it, so it's like if you look on the comic side, it's like way down.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah, it's way down there.
I don't know if it's my app, but like every time, like every Wednesday when I get on there, I see shit for the next week already.
Oh no, it does that. It does it. So you gotta go back or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, it's so it's a glitch. It's fucking up. Yeah.
Yeah, I like click. Oh, that's out already. And oh, this will be available next. Oh shit,
Yeah.
pre-order
So
or
yeah,
whatever. I'm like,
they're showing you was next week stuff. So yeah.
yeah, I'm like, what the hell? And so it's like, yeah, I didn't even see this. It didn't even
Yeah.
pop up on
And
my
but
shit.
like I was saying, like if even when you look on it and you go and you know where to look, it's like way down there. So because like I said, nobody's buying it. So it's a book. It's happening. But to get you caught up, what's going on right now? Like I said, Black Panther is in a different city called Burning T'Chaka, which is on the outskirts of Wakanda. It's like as far as you can get from Wakanda without leaving Wakanda. And he's basically their Batman, Daredevil, whatever, silent protector, of the night, doing that thing. And he's chasing down this chick that's basically his version of a Catwoman, but not Catwoman, but kind of Catwoman. Anyway, we're here. All right. So, yeah. So, like I said, he busts in her room and she's just in a towel. Of course, how convenient, and he knows everything about it. He knows her name is Tina. He knows she prowls at night as Besa. He knows everything about her. Meanwhile, she's reaching for her, her weapons and shit. And she's just like, get out of my house before I kill you. Because she still thinks he's a cosplayer. So she goes for him and tries to attack him. And right before you get there, he does not move. T'Challa does not move at all. He just like, what's going on? He's like, why didn't you move or try to disarm us like that? He was like, look, if I wanted to kick your ass would have been kicked by now. I didn't come here to kick your ass. I came here to ask you questions. That's all. And she was like, okay, well, fine. And she put a weapon down and just starts questions. She's basically trying to find out what's going on right now. The reason she's like going from, breaking into places, stuff like that, and stealing out of safe like that, because there have been a series of kidnappings of the wealthy and powerful people in Burn T'Chaka, or they call Biddy. Biddy is the name they call the city. So Biddy City, what they call it. So, yeah. And she's basically saying that what's going on right now, that the 5 families have people getting kidnapped right now. But one of the 5 family members have nobody in their family has been touched right now. Baba Nikisu. I'm just gonna call him Baba. Baba is the head main crime boss of Biddy. But they're saying he's so much of a crime boss, they don't even call him a crime boss. He's like the daimyo or the sovereign. He's like above that. He's damn near like what T'Challa is to Wakanda. He's like that to Biddy, But like I said, anybody gets in his way, he takes him out. He has a generation of crime families. They just pass it down from crime family to crime family. And he's the most ruthless dude. And it seems like he's taking out the competition. He wants to be the main guy. He wants to let anybody else to get them. So, and he's kidnapping members of their family. And so what the point is that she realizes that one crime family, Baba, is becoming too powerful for the rest of the crime family. She can't have that. The 5 families have to have balance, because if there's not balance, it's going to throw everything off. Because it make it easy for her to steal shit. So, and that's for like, damn, okay. So the child's just like, okay, so why don't we, put our heads together and figure out some ways to do shit. She's like, okay, cool. But while she does that, she grabs her dagger one more time and throws it at him at his back to see what he does. And he catches it without even looking. And then when she realizes that, did that say Ewing? Oh, F1? Whatever. and when he catches it without looking, she's like, wait a minute. You're not a cosplayer. You really are him. She's like, yeah, I'm him. But that doesn't matter right now. Let's team up together and try to find out what's going on with the 5 families. So that's how the book starts. So a couple of days later, we go to K2 Market, and basically what's going on right now is that there's news going on that the biggest wedding in Wakanda is happening right now. It's the wedding of the century. Like, the wedding of the century? What are you talking about? You mean bigger than Black Panther and Storm? And she's like, who? like they cool. I don't know those people. That's like Jay-Z and Beyonce. They might well be for me. No, these are like people homegrown from Biddy. They're right here. Oh, the dude washing dishes like that, that's T'Challa. But he's in disguise. He's got like a hologram disguise that Shuri gave him, so nobody can tell. So that's his secret identity right now. His secret identity is Izzy, so that way he can move around the city without anybody paying attention to him. So while they're doing that, people walk up to him, and it's these guys. These guys right here, they're basically mobsters. They're from one of the 5 families, and they walk up to him, and he reaches in his pocket, and Izzy or T'Challa grabs his arm before he can reach out what's going on. And he's like, wait, what the fuck? And he moved so fast, he didn't realize what was going on. He's standing there while like dudes waving guns at him and shit like that. But Izzy has to remember, like, oh shit, I'm T'Challa. I could kick these guys' ass, but I gotta pretend like I can't keep these guys. Kind of like Clark Kent Superman. Like I can't let them know how badass I am, you know. So he like, now let me just reach in my pocket slowly so he won't beat my ass. And he gives them a shopping list of food that the bride wants catered to them. She wants catering for the wedding, and she wants it done at 7 o'clock today. They're like, well, I ain't got time to do all that. Like, well, you better make time, and they just leave. And like, oh, and have your bodyguard bring this shit too, just in case some crazy shit happens. So they go fix the food, and they basically say, okay, when I fix the food and get everything ready, you go take it to the wedding and let them know that we brought it so we can, get free advertising like that. So, and that's the thing. So basically, talk to the Tima, and they're basically having a conversation. T'Challa basically saying, look, I got to wait inside of the wedding. And she's like, I got to wait inside the wedding too. Don't worry about how I got a way in. I got to wait in. And she's having a flashback of what she did. So she's from Mahanda, which is the nearest city outside of Wakanda. So like burning T'Chaka and Mahanda right next to each other. And basically she's running from home. But while we look at the door, we see her family, and you see like the purple resin. She's like this, like the gifted gymnast and stuff like that. So that's how she knows how to do all her Catwoman, Elektra, ninja shit. Because she set all her life for that. And we don't know what happened with her family, but she ran from home. We don't know what happened, but I'm pretty sure we'll find out later on. Meanwhile, we're at the wedding and we find out what's going on, and they're delivering the food and going to the back. While they're delivering the food, he's going to try to find a way to talk to Baba, the main guy. And while that's going on, Natima is at the party also. She's just mingling, watching everything's going on. And then somebody crashed through the door. And who crashed through the door? Deathlock. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, so he's there. He crashed the wedding party. And he's doing target acquire. He's centering in on certain people in there. And he just starts letting loose, just start blasting people. Natima jumps over the thing. She's like, oh, yeah, Black Panther, you need to get your ass down here because this is a job for you. If you are not a cosplay and you the real deal, you need to handle this shit right now while he shooting everybody else. So she's about to get in her costume. But before she even get there, T'Challa's already there. He like, this guy's name is Deathlock. Nobody in here has heard of Deathlock, but he knows who he is. He like, this is Deathlock, and I'm here to take him down. Now, Deathlock is all Wakanda teched out. So this is like the strongest version of Deathlock we've ever seen before. Going against Black Panther. And we got a dude already dead on the floor. So one of his targets already taken out. And to be continued. So yeah.
So again, like they keep to be continuing Deathlock.
Right. But we actually get a showdown right now. I know Deathlock's been in the background doing Deathlock shit, but now we got him squaring off with T'Challa. So this is it. So this is my whole like vibe of this book right now. Everything I think about this book is going to rest on next issue, because next issue has the cover of T'Challa and Deathlock going at each other fighting. You got Black Panther versus a killer black cyborg. Give me that. I want to see what that's like. So if that book sticks the landing, then this book gets passed. I'll promote it. I'm on board. I'm in there to side. If they shit the bed and it's just some bullshit, I'm out. I'm dropping the book. So everything happens will depend on what happens next issue with this book.
Yeah. What if they take the Naruto approach?
What's the Naruto approach? Well, they just power up.
They throw a punch every episode.
Oh, and they think about it. I see an opening. You know what? I actually might like that. I actually might go with it if I see that shit. It depends on how they do it.
The lesson that Master Yoshi or whatever taught me that one day.
This is for you. And then you
believe it.
I put everything I have into this move. We'll see. All right. So what you got next?
Ninja Turtles and Stranger Things #2.
There we go. Ninja Turtles, Stranger Things. Okay. I thought this book was further along than that.
No, it's only #2.
Yeah, I was saying like #2. Okay.
Yeah, and we also got Ninja Turtles and Street Fighter going on.
That's what it is, because that's further along. Okay.
Yeah, that's like #3 or 4 now. So.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, is it? Oh, shit. Okay.
Something like that. Yeah, there's been at least 2 issues of Street Fighter Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the IDW crossovers where we get You know, they do these fun crossovers: Batman and Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers and Godzilla. What do they do? Terminator and Transformers. They've been doing all these. So now we have Ninja Turtles and Stranger Things. So on a field trip, the Stranger Things kids go to New York on a field trip. They team up with the Ninja Turtles and find out that the Demogorgons, the monsters from the Upside Down on the Stranger Things show, they've been somehow, there's a doorway open in New York. They do some investigating. They find out that Baxter Stockman are making robot mouser Demogorgons. You know, the mousers, the little robot mouser things in the sewer.
Mm-hmm.
He's making mouser robot Demogorgons. So they all team up and go investigate stuff. One team is in the subway. They actually find the portal. That's where this issue picks up. One team is in the subway and they find the portal and they start fighting Demogorgons, and that's where we see them here. And then another team make it to Baxter Stockman's lab where they have 11, the psychic, you know, X-Men mutant girl from, you know, Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
Baxter Stockman has her in, like, you know, all like in an experimental chamber, trying to, you know, basically harness her powers and trying to tap into her psychic powers and shit, so he can, I think, basically steal him or whatever. So there's like a mind battle going on between 11 and Baxter Stockman. You know, and then Raphael and like Dustin and a couple of the kids, they go and storm the lab and shit, start kicking ass. And then back in the subway, the kids are, you know, Leonardo and I think Michelangelo, like a few of them are fighting the Demogorgon. And then the Stranger Kids things are like the Stranger Kid, Stranger Things kids are like watching the battle, like they don't know what to do and shit. And like, you know, Lucas is like, oh shit, I don't have my slingshot, and they don't have any weapons. So the last panel, which I should have grabbed it, that was a better panel, but it didn't have the Ninja Turtle. But the last panel shows the Stranger Things kids all holding like the Ninja Turtle weapons, and they're ready to go help fight the Demogorgons. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I'll give it a 4 out of 5. This is just stupid fun, you know. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next one I'm going to do, Eli, I think I'm going to take a bet and say I think you read it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say you read it. I may be wrong, but I'm gonna say I think you read it.
Okay.
This one.
I did read this.
Aha! I knew it. I knew it.
I did read
you eat a cheeseburger next week.
Why?
Right.
What the fuck did I bet?
All right. Yeah. So the book we're reviewing right now is Penguin #1. And so, yeah, like I said, Joker has like 1,000 solo books right now. Why not Penguin? Why not give Penguin a book? And Revenge is for the birds. Now you want to know, okay, so you know what the Penguin is supposed to look like. Why doesn't this look like the Penguin? Now, if you've been reading the Batman book, Penguin had plastic surgery to change his appearance because he faked his death.
I do remember him faking his death and trying to pin it on Batman.
I
have not kept up with that. Is it Zdarsky?
Zdarsky, yeah.
Yeah, I have not kept up with that Batman.
I haven't either. But as far as what he did with Penguin, well, some other shit happened with Penguin also. Like his kids took over the Iceberg Lounge and they tried to kill him when they found out he was still alive. So he ran out of they ran him out of town. They were like, get the fuck out of town, don't come back, and we won't come after you. So so he's living in Metropolis now. So that's Penguin. So the book starts. Oh, and Tom King is writing this. Let's hold up. I forgot about Tom King. Okay, now you want to talk about the guy that's writing Earthdivers, a novelist, doesn't know when to quit. That's Tom King. Tom King is that. But the thing with Tom King, whenever you get back Tom King, you feel it. I know you felt it.
I know. I was like thinking he was certain characters, like his style of writing just works.
Yeah. I
don't know about the Penguin though.
I don't know. We're gonna get to it. Let's review. Yeah. Let's talk about it. We're jumping ahead of us. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Okay. All right. So, like I said, we're at the book starts off in the Gotham River with Penguin. I don't know. We're at the Bat boat is sinking or the Batmobile is sinking. I don't know what it is. Something sinking with Batman in it. Batman fucked up, got shot, has a bullet in his lungs, both his arms broken. How we got here, we don't. He just saying she beat us. She got to us already. We can't do anything. He can't lift any of his arms. And then he turns over and says, Oswald. And Penguin is in the passenger seat, also fucked up, but not as fucked up as Batman. Because he like, fuck you, Bruce. You know, and he basically telling like, Oswald, we got a way to get out of this. If you can just help me. Like, no, I'm not helping you. I got enough of my problems. I don't need you to save me. I'm not saving you. We're just going to go out the way we are. And the bat, boat, mobile, plane, wing, cycle stinks, whatever it is. So that's it. Meanwhile, we fast forward, rewind to a year ago in Metropolis. So that's where we are right now. And he's talking to his haberdasher. I think I said it right. I think that's what it is. I might be saying it wrong. No, haberdasher is a hat, right? Or is the guy that does the thing? Whatever it is. And honestly, by the end of this book, it won't even matter. He does some shit. He's his tailor. Why am I using this fancy word and just saying his tailor? That's his tailor. Anyway, look at the mirror. So, like I said, this is not the Oswald Cobblepot you're used to. That's the Penguin you're used to. This is him, plastic surgery. But he basically, and the tailor is telling him, yeah, Mr. Cobb, you've lost weight. You looking slimmer, you're looking healthier. And then when he realized what he said, he like, oh shit, I kind of fucked up. Maybe I shouldn't have said that he looks bitter. What does it mean? He looked uglier before, you know, because he's killed people for less, you know. But at the same time, Penguin just says, you know what, no, it's okay. Yeah, you said some fucked up shit, but you know what? I'm gonna let it slide. You know why? Because revenge is for the birds. He just leaves. That's it. Got his suit, just goes today, get his newspaper, sits in the bag, gets a hot dog. That's that normal, boring bullshit, feeds birds, shit like that. Normal bullshit. But meanwhile, he doesn't know, or maybe he does know, I don't know. But he's under surveillance the entire time. By who? We will find out. So he walks to this guy, and this guy just bugged the shit out of him. But this guy also works for the people that has him under surveillance and trying to like goad him and get him to throw a punch and get him to fight shit like that. Just saying just nasty shit to him, but he won't budge. He's like, nah, you're right. I bumped into you. My bad. You know. And then the guy keeps yelling, just walks off while still cursing at him. And Penguin just leaves and that's it, you know. And then Penguin goes home. But his wife is his fiance is there. Rita Wells is her name. She's a veterinarian, works on birds like that, but she made it 15 minutes early. So Penguin was cooking for her, but like, you made it 15 minutes early, so the food's not ready yet. And she just looking at you like, well, what do we do to pass the time for the next 15 minutes? You're like, oh, I can think of something. And yeah, he takes it to Pound Town. So that was not an image I was expecting for Penguin to like, you know, drill ass, but he did it. Matter of fact, he did it to the point she was just like, oh, Penguin, if he still smoked, I would love a cigarette right now. So all we know right now, this is some stuff that's laying in there, that Penguin no longer smokes. That's all past him. He's like, nah, I don't do that before. And
they still got that meal in the oven. They can eat now and shit.
They've been fucking so much that they forgot. No, because it's burnt. The bird is burnt now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So like Penguin's going for round 2. What the fuck? What are we reading, man? So anyway, we're going to Blossoms. Blossom is the flower shop that Penguin works at. And some asshole dude walks in and basically saying that he forgot his anniversary. His wife is pissed at him, so he's coming here to buy some flowers, but he want to buy some flowers that look expensive but aren't expensive. And that's when Penguin says, well, rule of thumb is that you usually get before you pay for it. And that's when this asshole goes in this long thing about, oh yeah, rule of thumb. You know where that came from, right? Like everybody says it, kids say it and shit like that. But it really came from a term when men used to beat their wives back in the day. That's where the term came from. Now, I didn't know this. I didn't know it was a thing or not. And maybe Tom King just pulled this out of his ass. I don't know. But basically what he's saying is that the rule of thumb came from when men wanted to beat the shit out their wives, but didn't want to beat them too bad. So they would use a stick that was no bigger than their thumb. And that's where the rule of thumb came from. You know, and that's when the bird bites him. You're like, fuck you. He was like, well, maybe you should buy your wife some jewelry, you know, because what you really fucked up, flowers not gonna do it. He was like, well, how about fuck you? How about that for a rule of thumb? And then he walks out, leaves, cusses him out, all kind of shit. And that's when somebody else walks in and shoots his bird. And it turns out this is Spinoza. So apparently she's already a Batman character, like a reoccurring character. Riddler had shot her eye out last time she was in a book. So, and he like, you killed my bird. You're like, come with me. So he arrests her. She arrests him and takes him who knows where. All we know is that Amanda Waller's there looking at him. And basically Spinoza is, she calls her Officer Beep. Actually, they don't call it Beep. She actually calls her something, but we don't see what it was. And she's like, may the wall never fall. And so basically they leave Penguin in there for a whole week in a room. They give him 3 meals a day and a bucket. That's it. And he just stuck there. He never tries to leave out. He never goes anywhere. He just stays there. And eventually Spinoza comes in there and has a conversation with him, basically tells him what's going down. Like, okay, look, I know you're off the scene. I know you saying you're retiring, all this bullshit like that, but you're going to go back to Gotham. You're going to take over the Iceberg Lounge. You're going to take over your whole operation just like you did before by any means necessary. I don't care what your kids say. Kick their asses out of there. And if you don't do what we said you did, then we're going to put your fiance on charges. Now, even though we know your fiance didn't really do shit, we're going to find a judge that don't really care and put on charges anyway, and probably put on death penalty. So those are your options. You either do what we say and you work for me, or we put your wife in jail. And you were in jail as well. And Penguin doesn't say anything. And you're like, so you got 2 choices. You either leave out of here out the front door. So it turns out the door that Penguin has been in has been unlocked the entire time. He actually could have left anytime he wanted. They didn't lock the door. Oh, and now even though he said he doesn't smoke again, now he's smoking again, letting you know that the Penguin is back. You know, just the little hint right there. And that's the thing. Is basically the government wants to put their own crime boss in power. You know, like shit they always do. Mm-hmm. So that's what they're doing right now. So Penguin just gets up and leave, and it's basically saying like you can either take an Uber or you can just walk back to your home. We have a guy down there that will give you an umbrella to walk back in your home with. So it turns out that, and she's so happy what she just did, she decides to scream out, "Fuck!" or something, whatever. So it's Penguin or shit or ball sack, whatever. But
cock knobbler.
But Penguin is walking in the rain with an umbrella. That's foreshadowing. So he walks back to his tailor. And he's like, hey, you ready for your new suit, Mr. Cobb? And he just beats him to death with his umbrella. Or I don't even know if he beats him to death. I don't even think he beats him to death. I think he just beats him. But he beats him just enough. And he looks at and we're back to Batman, and Batman is sinking, and maybe he killed Batman. I don't know. Is that guy dead? Yeah, that guy's dead. Yeah, Taylor's dead. Batman's dead. Penguin's dead. Everybody's dead. But he's looking at his umbrella and realizes his umbrella is smaller than his thumb. So it's cool for him to beat people to death with his umbrella. Because that's the rule of thumb. Mm-hmm. The end. So, yeah. So, like I said, this Tom King is putting all these $5 words in here to say the most simplest ass story. It's like, it's not a whole lot of shit that happened in this book, but it takes a long time to read this shit. Like, keep it simple, Tom King. Like I said, with Tom King, you just don't know what you're going to get with Tom King. You don't know if you're going to get.
I felt it dragged a bit.
Yeah, that's what Tom King does, man. But it didn't have to drag. That's the point. Because the story is really simple. A lot of shit, he could have just carved this shit out. They didn't need all this explanation. We didn't need to talk about the hot dog stand. I don't give a shit about Spinoza and why she doesn't curse anymore and all this shit like that. We didn't need all that.
Yeah.
And it's like 3 pages.
Yeah, there was stuff that the stuff was going on in continuity that I wasn't aware of, and that made it drag even more. Like, okay, I don't know what's happening.
Right.
But, okay. And then at the end, okay. They just want to put him back in power.
Like, you could have just said that. We didn't need all this shit. We didn't need him shitting and whatever in a bucket for a week. Just get to the point.
And what's going on with Batman?
Oh yeah, Batman's dead for some reason.
Yeah.
But that's another story. Don't worry about that story. Don't worry about Batman dying.
That's on issue 14. We'll find out.
Yeah, like what the fuck? I don't even give a shit if Batman dies in this book. Like, fuck it, I don't care. This is shit. Because like Tom King should have got to the point with the story, man. It's like Tom King can be so good and so bad. He's the best writer out there, man. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, it's just like he gets paired with characters that just don't gel. Like I don't care about a psychological profile of a Penguin. I just want to see a
Right.
mob boss do some shit. You know what I mean?
That's all we want. That's what I thought I was getting. I thought it was gonna be like mob. I thought he was gonna say every time I'm out, they pull me back in or some shit like that. You know,
that's some gay. Like I don't need like the Sopranos therapy sessions. You know what I mean? Like,
right. But that's what Tom King wants to do.
Yeah, he wants to put Penguin through a therapy session. I'm like, I don't.
He wants to compare him to the other Gotham villains and how he has an inferiority complex and all this shit. I don't care, man. Or even if you do that shit, do that shit in issue 5 or something like that. Don't start off the book with that shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, put him back. He's a mob boss. He got to be back. The government wants him back in power. Boom. There you go. That's why he's back in Gotham.
Yeah, they give him mercs or something. Like,
something, anything. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just, and then he goes and takes out fucking Mulroney or whatever. I don't know.
Somebody do something. Yeah. Make it
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wasn't feeling it. Yeah. That's why I didn't put it on the list.
But it could have been. That's the thing. It's there. It's there.
Especially after the Batman, the movie, where I loved
Penguin has
that
his
version.
own TV show coming out.
That version of the Penguin was dope. You know,
So
just a mob boss. Yeah.
Right. Just a mob boss climbing his way up to the top of Gotham. Because like I said, like I know a lot of people don't know shit about the Penguin. We know shit about the Penguin. Like the Penguin, like damn near runs the underworld. Like when he's at the top of his game, all this shit. So
give us the Godfather with the Penguin, you know?
Yes. Oh man, it's simple, man. It's simple. I don't know, man.
Yeah, so I picked this up thinking that's what I was gonna get.
Right. But no, another therapy session because it's Tom King. I don't know.
What's your score?
It's a 3 out of 5, man. But I wanted it to be so much better, man. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3 because there is shit in here I like, but you gotta sift through this Tom King bullshit to get to it.
You gotta sift through the writer,
right? You gotta sift through the writer to get to the story. You shouldn't have to do that.
There's a good idea in here somewhere that the writer fucked it up. Like
the writer that wrote it is fucking it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm giving it a 3. But but what you give it?
I'll give it a 2. It just dragged for me.
It did drag.
It was a slog. It was a slog to read. That's why I didn't even put it on my list. I was like, I don't want to review this.
Let Leroy handle this shit.
Like I was like checking out when you were reviewing it. Like he's going, Leroy's doing. I was
saying, let me power through. Let me power through.
He's gonna retell this issue.
And then he was smelling the flowers. Oh shit! All right. So, what you got next?
I'm booked out.
Oh shit, that was the last one? Okay. Okay. Didn't know that. All right. Yeah. Like I said, if you listen this long.
Really? You're booked out?
I did 3.
You didn't read Thor?
Did I need to?
Immortal Thor?
Nah.
Oh.
I started 2 and I just saw him beating up on Frost Down. So I was like, you know what? I've seen it. I'm good.
Because I read it. I thought it was decent. But obviously I haven't read Thor in a while, so obviously there was shit going on that I didn't feel comfortable reviewing. I figured you were gonna read it because it was like the big book of the week and shit.
Really?
It was like the big,
I just thought it was another Thor book. I read a lot of Thor books like over the year, over my lifespan and shit like that. So for them to do something that I haven't seen with Thor, I'm just like, you really got to do something. Now this book did. Okay.
The art was really cool. But there was shit going on that I didn't know. Like, it starts out where he's fighting frost giants. And,
and I was like, this again? Nah, I'm good.
And like he can control the blizzard. So he's the god of thunder. He can control storms, and that counts for blizzards too. So he makes the blizzard go away, and the sun comes out.
Well, that's new.
And the frost giants are like, oh shit, the sun.
But at the same time, I feel like Thor wouldn't do that because he would rather beat the shit out the frost giants.
Well,
So,
the one
not to say
frost
he couldn't do that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, the one frost giant stays and starts talking all this like medieval shit to him. Like they start talking shit to each other, and
Yeah.
Thor finally just fuck off and then just throws like smashes his head and shit.
Right, because he'd rather beat the shit out of Frost Giants. That's the whole point. So yeah.
Yeah, and then he goes back to Earth and shit happens, and then this I can't remember the name, but I recognize it from like Amon Amar, like death metal lyrics. A lot of like death metal lyrics popped up in this.
Okay, so Al Ewing's going there. Okay. So.
Yeah, and some I can't remember the fucking name of it. Like an evil version of Thor, like a god Thor god. Ungheim Thor or something like that, or I don't know.
That almost sounds familiar.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick.
Okay.
But he shows up and he comes to Earth and like basically is like more powerful than Thor because he's a god. He's like a god, a bigger, like a more powerful god than Thor. Or like the Dark World Thor version of Thor or something like that. Anyway, he comes down and like blows up the Statue of Liberty in New York with a lightning bolt.
Oh shit. Okay.
And then starts talking shit to Thor. And I didn't know, I wasn't familiar with him, who he was. Shit, where'd it go? Fuck.
So I mean, when you're saying it, not Utgard or some shit like that, was it?
Yeah, it sounds like that's what it is.
Utgard? Huh. Okay.
Immortal.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be like. Utgard's supposed to be like the higher end. Like they had like a Loki, then Utgard Loki. I remember they had an Utgard Loki.
Yeah, they yeah.
They mentioned
Loki.
that? Okay. Yeah.
Yep. All that shit. And he's like a big dark god.
Yeah, and then he's supposed to be like more powerful than Thor. Like Thor can't fuck with him.
Yeah. Yeah. That's who it was.
Okay. So
he shows up.
Wait, Utgard Thor or Utgard Loki?
Both. Well, they mentioned Loki, Utgard Loki.
Okay.
But he's the one who shows up and blows up basically starts like fucking up New York.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So Thor is back on Earth. That's another thing I kind of get tired of the Asgard stories. I kind of want Thor more on Earth doing, not necessarily adventure shit, but just superhero shit,
Yeah.
But we'll see. Like I said, I wanted to see how this book go first, but when I just saw him just fighting Frost Giants again, I kind of like checked out. But,
I don't know. I'm not current on Thor. I know wasn't Donnie Cates writing it, and then he got
you heard about we never mentioned that on the show, but yeah, Donnie Cates finally revealed he was in a car accident and he was in like a coma for 6 months.
Yeah, it doesn't remember shit. And
doesn't he remember his own writing? Like he's reading his books now and don't remember him writing it. That's how fucked up shit was. So
yeah, he was writing the Hulk and Thor and
both at the same time and
So speedy recovery to him, but I mean, I thought it was decent. I just wasn't familiar with what was happening.
Okay, like I said, I'll get into it because I always catch up with Thor books eventually down the road somewhere.
Yeah, I figured you were like all over it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a lot of these Thor books are just Thor beating the shit out of people. It's not really like introspective or shit like that. It's like, but I'll get to it. I'll get to it eventually. So, because sometimes with a Thor book, that's all you want, him just beat the shit out of people.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that old English speak and references.
They're doing that again. I thought they dropped it back in the 90s, but
in the whole all the references to Norse mythology,
all this shit,
and all that, talking shit to each other, like that scene. Yeah, I mean, it was Frost Giants, but that scene was pretty funny. It was pretty cool. Like, he just comes down and is like, I'm the god of thunder. I control storms. That includes blizzards, motherfucker. And then like he makes the sun come out, and they're like, oh shit, and they start running away. And then
all right, so now you've piqued my interest. You piqued my interest.
Yeah, and then he starts talking all this shit. You little bat, I can't exactly quote for quote, but he starts talking shit to Thor, like you ain't shit. No, blah, blah, blah. And Thor's like, oh yeah, and then just throws Mjolnir and just blows up his head with
Mjolnir still cracked, or did he fix Mjolnir? Or
I don't remember, but I remember him looking at the hammer and seeing Odin's spell or whatever at one point.
Odin is still in the hammer.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Huh.
Oh yeah, that's right. Odin was in the hammer.
Yeah, that was in Kate's run. Yeah.
The Hulk versus Thor.
The Hulk thing. Yeah, like Odin is trapped in Mjolnir. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably what it was. See, I didn't know. That's why I was like, I'll let Leroy review.
Okay. Tell you what, I'll check this out and I'll do part 2 when it comes out. So yeah.
But the art is cool. The art is really sweet, you know.
Yeah, so all right. But like I said, listen to Long Live, like, share, subscribe. If you listen more than 30 seconds, we appreciate you. It helps the algorithm, you know. Like I said, next week we come back. The reason I didn't do Gran Turismo this week because I already planned we're gonna do a big family thing. We're gonna go see Gran Turismo. I'll give my review then. I'll break it down. Like I said, I can go deep into Gran Turismo lore, even though it's just a card game. Because it's one of the games I played the most out of any video game ever. Like it's like Street Fighter, Arkham, Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo might even be number 2. So I don't know.
So it'll be the Leroy show next week.
Just me talking about cars and shit. Like, all right. So until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
And make sure your dogs are spayed and neutered.
You know, you make me feel so good inside. I've always wanted a girl just like you. You're such a purity, pretty young thing. Ooh. Where did you come from, baby? And ooh, won't you take me there right away? Won't you, baby? Tenderoni, you've got to be. Spark my need, just sugar fly with me. Don't you know now is the perfect time? We can make it right in the city lights. When the night is the love and pain. Let me take it to the max. I want to love you, pretty young thing. You need some loving, to the love and care, and I'll take it there, girl. I want to love you, pretty young thing. You need some loving, to the love and care, and I'll take you there. Yes, I will. Nothing can stop this burning desire to be with you. Gotta get to you, baby. Won't you go